What draws people to foreign lands? Is it adventure, relaxation, food, culture, curiosity? Sure, it can be any of these things, but what draws some people to venture out from the comforts of home into new places is a desire to lend a helping hand to those less fortunate, to make at least a small difference in our global community. My helping hand wanderlust has its roots in my childhood. In 1969, the U.S. Air Force sent my father and our family to Guatemala, Central America. Guatemala was quite an adventure. We traveled the entire country during our 3-year stay. Guatemala was so beautiful in many ways, from its jungles and lakes, mountains, active volcanoes, coffee and chocolate, to ancient Maya ruins and peoples. However, there was another side to Guatemala that left a mark on me. It was the obvious poverty and despair lived out in the lives of too many people. Daily, our doorbell would ring and someone would be there begging for food. Daily, I witnessed children half naked roaming the streets and sleeping in cardboard boxes, if they were lucky enough to find one. The slums near downtown were crowded with people desperately trying to survive. These sights and experiences have stayed with me all these years and have inspired me to try to make that small difference. As a nurse, I found a way to help me do just that. In 2007, I had the opportunity to travel to Antigua, Guatemala as a recovery room nurse with a pediatric surgical team. We spent a week doing club foot repairs, hip repairs, and other orthopedic procedures. In 2009, my youngest daughter Brianna and I went to Uganda, Africa on a medical mission. We brought supplies and funds and spent over a week working in a small rural clinic and at an orphanage. I'm very grateful to have been part of these 2 missions, and at the same time, these contributions to the world are minuscule in comparison to the needs that continue to exist. There's so much more that can be done. Dr. Terry Witt, a member of the South Orange County Community College District's Board of Trustees, took several groups of nursing students to Belize during the time she served as a faculty member of Saddleback College's nursing program. Dr. Witt's example has inspired me to create a study abroad course for our nursing program.
So I wanted to ask you, Dr. Terry Witt, how you became inspired to go to Belize. What took you to Belize?
I've done 7 international missions, and most of them have been on my own. And I really started out when I was in nursing school, and I always knew that I was going to do something like this. I knew it was part of me. I knew I wanted to work in my own backyard, and I wanted to go elsewhere. And my first time, I went with Project Concern International. I got a call and said, do you want to go to Abyssinia? Abyssinia is Ethiopia. And so I did. I went to Ethiopia, and it was a phenomenal experience. I can't tell you what it did for me. I hope that I did something when I was there, and I know I did. I made changes, but more than anything, they touched my heart and my life and my attitude and how I see nursing. Judy was one of my students, Judy Creek, and she would always say, Terry, tell me a story about Ethiopia. So I would talk to her about it, and she said, someday I'm going to do it. And she did. They sold everything here in Orange County and went to Belize and built a home with the clinic on the downstairs. And she had been there a while, and I got this phone call out of nowhere, and she asked me if I would come and help her and bring students or nurses. And I said, well, to do that, I have to come and see where you are. I trust you, but I can't just take people. And I hadn't taken people with me before. I'd done it mostly on my own. And as it turned out, she had wonderful experiences that she shared with me. And I saw this to be a phenomenal experience for nurses and nursing students there. But I'm here to tell you that when you go purposely to know that you're going to help someone. And you're going to leave a little bit of you back there, and you will take the culture with you.
And so this tale begins of my scouting adventure to Belize, as I witnessed a group of nursing students from the University of Maine as they participate in a global nursing experience provided by International Service Learning, also known as ISL, a nonprofit organization serving communities in Central America, South America, and Africa.
Hi there, my name is Susan Wheaton, and I'm with the University of Maine. This is my 5th trip to Belize. We started this trip in 2010. For the nursing students, the goal of the trip, or the objectives of the trip, would be leadership, cultural diversity, and assessment. Of course, obviously the assessment skills, health policies in a different country. So there's so much to learn in these trips. We start preparing for these trips about a year in advance. We develop some team leading, some team dynamics, talk about therapeutic communication. Students are all assigned leadership roles. We bring, for an example, we work with another company called Partners of World Health, and we brought about 450, 500 pounds of medical supplies with us this year. We contact the country, find out what they need for medical supplies, and we designated members for that particular part of the project, if you will. Our nursing program has been doing this since 2010. I have another faculty member who does this along with me. We switch years, and the nursing program uses this as a selling point, and this has become known throughout the entire university that we have nursing students who travel and service others in other countries. So the biggest part for selecting a member to come on our team is commitment. It's 110% commitment to the team. And being part of the team. So it's everyone plays an essential and an important role in the team.
How did you choose ISL as an organization to be involved with for your service learning trips?
So knowing that I have a company that's reliable and will take care of the logistics within a country, and I don't have to worry about that piece, is probably the biggest reason to have chosen ISL. ISL works with each government, make sure that all of the documents that are required are done correctly. They work with the health ministry so we don't enter a village that's not been prepared for us entering. And those are pretty big deals. The other thing is ISL keeps my students very busy, which is a really good thing. I don't want my students to be out in the villages, out meandering around where potentially trouble or danger can take place. So ISL has them so busy. We're busy from the time we get up in the morning till evening with projects, with learning experiences. We had dance classes, we've had suturing classes in the past. They have presentations related to the country and perhaps the chronic diseases that the country itself faces. And so the entire experience from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed is learning. And so that's a big piece of it, knowing that the students are very safe.
This is my first trip. I'm a senior in nursing school. I could say it is the best decision I've ever made. I'm really happy that I came on this. I think it really brings all of us together. We work a lot in teams. We're a big group of 24, which is a lot, but I think they're handling it very well. This clinic experience is amazing. It's everything I ever imagined and more. People come together in the community, and word got out. We were out yesterday doing community assessments, spreading the word. But we have so many walk-ins today. Everybody out here, all the noise is just everybody in the community that spread the word that we were here, and it's wonderful. It's really amazing.
So tell me about yesterday.
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 So they split us up into groups, and we came to this town of San Antonio, and we went off in different directions and interviewed people in the home, asking if anybody was sick, if anybody needed any medical attention, and offered for them to come to our clinic. Some came, yeah. Some we would give out appointment cards for them, and so most people coming today have appointment cards. We're also offering, even if they didn't get a card, that we have a clinic today. Please come, and we'll provide any service that we can.
So when you would get to someone's house, what was the procedure? Like, do you just walk and knock on the door, or what do you do?
You announce yourself that you're here. Hello, hola. Some are Spanish speaking only, which is a little difficult, but we worked it out. And some of them were English as well. But you have a sheet that you fill out as far as who needs to see the doctor, and then you ask about drinking water in the house. Any cooking with wood fire can affect respiratory system, so we ask about that. Just some general questions for the doctor to prepare for the clinic today. So it was a really, really great experience. It was a little different going in just because we're not used to it in America, but everyone is so welcoming, and it's really humbling. It really, really is.
So now you're rotating through different stations here today. So you've both been in a group on the inside. So what's that like?
So they have us in groups of 3, and we work together in the interviewing process, writing down all the information, performing the assessment on the patient, as well as taking vitals and things like that. In my group, we had a specific role that we chose, but we all kind of ping-ponged off of each other and really worked together to figure out what was going on with the patient.
Yeah, us too. Yeah, we really separated evenly to kind of balance out the different roles, in order to work together to be the most effective to get the patient's help and seen as quickly as possible. So,
and you ask questions, and then you do a physical assessment, and then the doctor comes over, and then what happens?
Yeah, we kind of, as a group, talked together and tried to figure out what we thought was going on before we asked the doctor to come over. And then once the doctor does come over, we tell them the patient, their age, what they're here for, some of their past medical history, some of the findings we found, what their chief complaint is, and then with all of that, he or she kind of was telling us what they thought was going on. They then asked us a bunch of questions as to what we thought was going on, and we kind of brainstormed together, and their knowledge more of geographically where we are and things that are seen here versus where we come from really helped us kind of put all the pieces together. And then they incorporate the medications and such that they would prescribe and ask us, why do you think I'm giving this? When would they use it? Why would they use it? All of the above. So
it's a great experience because they're kind of bouncing off of each other, not only nurses, future nurses, nursing students currently, and doctors. It's a really great experience.
So you feel like a real team, like you're part of the healthcare team.
Yeah.
Say there's a student who's thinking about coming on a trip, what would you say to them?
Do it.
No hesitation. But if you're motivated, you can do it. There's so many outlets and so many people want to help you to come here. Like, don't let the finances be something that stop you from coming. Like,
you can even do a GoFundMe.
Yes, it's worth it. You would be surprised at how many people really want you to do it. If you have the heart and you show you want to do it, people will support you. There's not even a measurement to the amount of experience and heartwarming fulfillment that you get here in that amount of money. So absolutely do it.
And we have a couple of our teammates who have never been out of the country before. This is their first time. And even they were a little apprehensive, you know, they've never been out of the country and they're coming to do something big, you know. And even that, they're like, oh, you know, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. So don't let not being able to travel before this be something to stop you either.
Okay.
I'm Yorleni Jimenez Solano. I'm a general practitioner. I'm from Costa Rica, but living here in Belize for almost 10 years already. And I'm working with ISL like around 7 years. My experience is more in community medicine, and I really enjoy this program.
My name is Fidel Cuellar. I am Belizean. I studied medicine in Costa Rica, and I've been involved with ISL around the same time. The reason I got involved was it was an offer from a friend before, but then I ended up sticking with it because I like teaching. I like being with the students, whether they're nursing, pre-med, medicine, whatever students, I usually end up working with them.
So not only are you helping the community, but you're helping future generation of healthcare professionals.
Yes, what ISL does is it creates groups that goes out into the community and provides basic healthcare services with basic medication. In exchange, the students get to have a hands-on experience with the patients. The community is already accustomed to them, so there's not an issue of them interviewing, them listening to the patients, touching or looking. It's a very great relationship that has been developed with the community and ISL.
Do the students add value to ISL?
ISL depends on the students coming here. It wouldn't exist without the students. Okay, and the network that they've set up throughout the years not only benefits the communities that they go to, but the data that's collected, because you have to write out the sheets and sign off, that is given to the Ministry of Health, and that data is then processed so that the Ministry of Health also knows what is going on, what diseases we find, and how it is treated. So yes, it has become a good service, and it works great for the Ministry of Health and for the community. And of course the students benefit as well.
So you're both very passionate about helping the community, helping the people. I mean, where does that come from?
I thought that I want to be a gynecologist. When I was in my internship is when I realized that hospitality wasn't my thing. And then in Costa Rica you can choose work in hospital or you can go to community medicine. I start work there to like, well, okay, I don't like this one, let me try this one. And surprised me. You know, when I start to see people come and tell you, thank you, doc, because you make a difference in my life, it's like, what? But I just do my job, you know. You don't feel that you are doing something extra, but looks like it's an extra point in one life.
Yes.
And then when you see how they involve, you know, like how they get better. In hospital, sometimes you cannot see that. But here in community, you can see them when they won until they finish, and then it's like, yes, so you feel proud of your work. And then you see difference in the community. And if you help that community will be better, and it will be a better country at the end of the day. So I learned in the process. I didn't know that I liked this, but I learned in the process that I really like it.
Good.
That's a great story.
I found out in med school that I was good at explaining stuff. It was med school. And I have a knack of doing it in a way that people get it and they understand. So it helps me to learn my craft, and it also gives me the ability, I have this ability to transfer that knowledge. And through the years, it's something that gives me a lot of personal satisfaction.
Hi, Fidelio. Thank you so much for volunteering to talk to us about yourself and ISL. And I've been here for this whole program and seen you in action. The students are very fortunate to have you on the ISL team because you bring so much to the experience. Oh, how did you learn so much about the Maya culture? It's just because you seem so knowledgeable.
A lot of that comes from growing up. You know, getting stories from grandma, getting stories from grandpa, getting stories from some of the older folks in society and in the communities. A lot of it actually also comes from study, and I've done 8 years of archaeological study in a formal setting at the Galen University. I've actually participated in archaeological digs, and so it's something that I am very passionate about. And like I said, and I'll say this on record, I'm not really into the stones and that type of stuff. I'm more into the religious aspect, the spiritual aspect of the Maya civilization. But just remember, there's no I's in team, right? It's a big team. I mean, Denise, Javier, Loida, Rosalva, all of the people that we work with, they have so much education coming. Denise being an ex-teacher, you know, that's the type of people that we have here. So it's not just getting anybody and say, hey, you want to work with ISL?
Right.
We're all very versed in our own different fields. It just happens that for me, I'm a tour guide. I'm the talker.
Well, you do that very well.
Grazie.
You not only work with ISL, but you work with other organizations. Well, what are some of the other organizations that you work with?
Well, I lead tours for Nat Geo, for REI. I've been leading tours for a company based out of Antigua, Guatemala called Via Venture. I work Exodus Travels. So I have numerous groups that I work with outside of the medical field. One of my fortes, one of my strongest points being lowland Maya civilization. And a part of how to connect the ancient world of the Maya to our present day world, and more so talking about, you know, Maya calendars, Maya cosmology, Maya spirituality, and that type of stuff. And I'm happy to share whatever I know about this entire country. You know, it's such an amazing country. It's such a tiny little country, and there's just so much to offer.
Your first experience with ISL, is it?
It's not. It's my third.
So you've been to Belize how many times?
I've only been to Belize once. This is my first time, but I've been to Panama and Costa Rica.
So you keep coming back,
Yes.
obviously. What is it that brings you back to these experiences?
Definitely my heart to serve others. I truly love serving others and trying to make a difference in this world that we live in. But also the ISL. I always feel so safe with ISL. The doctors teach us so much. One thing that I realized this trip is that they really made you think and they challenged you. And I think that's how I learn, is when someone challenges me and to think beyond of what the possible diagnoses could be. So if you want to go on a trip, start out with ISL because they just give you a great foundation to do medical missions if that's what you want to do in the future. And I know part of my nursing career, I will continue to do this, whether it's with ISL or if it's not. But because of ISL, I have a good foundation and understanding how to maybe navigate countries or just understand, try to understand different cultures, if that makes any sense.
So you've learned a lot, but you also had a lot of fun.
Yes, definitely. It was great snorkeling yesterday. We got to swim with the stingrays and the
Nurse sharks.
nurse sharks. So that was a cool experience.